Hey, you, stop scrolling. Are you a podcaster? Ned has a tip for you if you're a podcaster.
That's just excellent. That's so funny. That really threw me off. I'm such a fan of that. Pivot to video is the thing everyone's talking about right now in podcasting, and you don't need to pivot to video. I promise you, you can stay audio only. But if you are incorporating video into your podcast, so you are recording remotely, well, then you're probably recording everyone's video and audio separately through whatever service you use. But if you are recording in person, use multiple cameras. Have a single camera on every guest and a master shot that's wide if you need one. The reason being, the editing is easier if you're only looking at one person. And if you try to just turn a camera on while you record your podcast, it becomes basically uneditable if you don't have another camera angle to cut to. So use multiple cameras when recording your video podcast. This primarily relates to in-person, because if you're recording online, it would be really hard to do a single video. But if you are using like Zoom or something, don't just use the gallery view in your podcast edit. Capture everyone's video separately. That's the tip of the day.
I would love to know how many people watching this now that this tip is actually for. Raise your hand if this resonated with you. And I don't expect to find many comments with the hand raised, but if it does resonate with you, I am curious.
And if you're listening to this podcast, this episode wasn't really for you anyway.
Well, yeah, we don't know if you're a creator, but I'm always curious. Some of our tips might help you, some might not. This one really might not help you. Average listener, average viewer. Let's find out.
Ariel, sometimes we want to support our friends, get them gifts, celebrate them, but also we're like a little rough in the pocketbook wallet field. So, Ariel, what is a cheap or free way I can celebrate my friends?
Yeah, I hate being rough in the pocketbook / wallet field.
It sucks.
But this tip combats that. So this tip is that if you want to get your friend a gift, maybe it's their birthday, maybe they're celebrating something, and you either don't want to spend money, or you can't spend money, or you can't think of something to get them that they've said, oh, I really want this thing. Try just doing something with them that they usually do by themselves. Recently, for Mother's Day for my mom, did not get my shit together in time to get her a present. So I called her the night before and I said, what if I come to your house and we go on a bike ride? Because she loves bike rides. And she usually goes on bike rides by herself. And I, took my bike on the subway and then on Metro North, and it was quite a schlep, but it was worth it. And we did 15 miles, and it was really fun and hard and challenging and also gratifying. And I just realized, I was trying to think of what the equivalent of that would be for me if somebody said, Ariel, why don't I come to your apartment and we'll do X, Y, and Z? That would be an awesome gift, and it costs nothing.
That's a great tip. I love time and energy as a currency by which you celebrate people, as something more people should think on. I also feel this way about when people are like, what did they get me for my birthday? I have to get something equivalent. Don't do that. They did what they felt they wanted to. You do what you feel you wanted to. And everyone will be happy because you put in time and energy and thought into the concept of a gift.
Yeah, it's so much more meaningful to be like, let me take you to a movie, or let me take you to the park where we can put out picnic blankets and read. Whatever that means for you and your friends, find that and try it out and let us know how it goes.
This is a really good tip. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I believe we are about to see Ariel hoisted on her own petard. Ariel, would you please set up this tip?
Hoist me. Yes, happy to. Today, Noah Westreich is here. He is our guest tipper of the month. Unfortunately, this is his last guest tip. And Noah is actually going to give us an anti tip. And if you're a longtime follower of this show, you'll know that every once in a while we do an anti-tip. So something that you should not follow me in doing. And I've put a lot out there in this world. And today, Noah is going to add to this story. So what is the anti-tip? of the day.
So I'm a longtime listener, and so I listen to your anti-tips, and I have to admit this is one that I really groaned at and grumbled at. Ariel, if you recall, you had an anti-tip about loading or not loading, unloading or not unloading your dishwasher. Is that right?
Ugh,
Yes,
one
correct.
cup at a time.
You never properly unload it. It's just constantly in motion.
It's
Dirty,
Theseus's
there's
dishwasher.
clean. Mm-hmm. So my anti-tip is to do your dishes. And there's a wonderful quote that I love from the author, writer, illustrator Myra Coleman, who wrote that washing dishes is the antidote to confusion. I know that for a fact. And this really resonates with me because when everything else is swirling and you have decisions to make and you have places to be, things to do, relationships to uphold, you look at your sink and there's a bottom to the sink. There are dishes there. You can scrub them and clean them, dry them, put them away, get a household chore done, and honor the great Myra Coleman.
Wow.
Yeah. Ariel, did you have a change of heart while I was speaking?
I'm happy to be roasted for the sake of the Chippendales. And with that, we will say goodbye to Noah Westreich, who was our guest tipper of the month of May. Thank you for sharing tips with us. And we actually may have a bonus from you. So if you like Noah, stick around for more. Make sure you're following our show wherever it is that you listen to and watch podcasts.
Muchas gracias.
Ned, sometimes the tips that we give on this show help us. Sometimes they help others. This is one that helps everybody involved. So what is something that the folks can do today or this weekend that's going to enrich them and enrich the people that they're supporting?
Ooh, great question. The answer is this, everybody. No matter where you live, there is a theater company, a community theater company, a regional theater company, whatever it is. And many of those companies help develop new plays from new playwrights or from old playwrights workshopping a new show. And those developments need audience members and feedback. They need to be heard out loud, and the playwright needs to hear which lines people laugh at. They need to hear what lands. They need to develop a show based on audience reaction. Don't just go see finished theater. Find a reading of a new play. And usually you can find these for free tickets or cheap tickets or donation-based tickets or buy concessions. But either way, readings of new plays is an incredible way to get to know new theater, have an artistic experience that is very different from the standard theater experience, and is a pivotal help to the development of new theater and the artistic landscape as a whole. Go see a reading of a play near you soon.
Ned, you described this tip ahead of time as high horsey, pedantic. And I'll say, I don't think that's true at all. I think this is like a fun way to have a different type of night out.
Yeah, and, you know, theater can be expensive. We live in New York. Broadway's expensive. Off-Broadway's expensive. A lot of these reading series are quite cheap, and you get a 2 to 3 hour play, usually incredible. And at the end, there's often a talkback with the playwright where you get to talk about the show and your reactions. Go check it out.
Can you give a quick where would people go to search for something like this?
Yes, it really depends on where you are and what's in your area. In New York, you can find a lot of stuff like this. I recently went to a wonderful play reading from a company here in New York called Permafrost Theater Collective. We'll tag them in the various things. They are doing a lot of these reading series, so you can follow them and go see things here in New York. Back home where I'm from, there are a couple of theater companies dedicated to just play readings. So if you put into Google like theater, wherever you are, play reading tickets, you will probably see a bunch of stuff pop up.
Gorgeous. Thank you.
You're so welcome. I don't know if any of that will work. Tippendales, let me know if that Google search doesn't work. Ariel, today is our final tip of May. And for this tip, you have titled something that I laugh at every time I say, which is bad. I shouldn't. But it is very funny. Ariel, why is everything tuberculosis?
Thank you for asking, Ned. Everything is tuberculosis because John Green said so. I read this book in a day and a half. It's called Everything is Tuberculosis. And it's the first book that I've read in a really long time. And this tip is multi-pronged. The first is, if you are having trouble reading books because you don't like to sit down and read them, if you pay for Spotify Premium, you have a lot of audiobooks for free. You have a certain amount of hours for free. The second part of this tip is tuberculosis goes back real far and has a lot of implications for like how we treat disease today. And it is just interesting to have that context now. Like, did you know that Adirondack chairs were invented because of tuberculosis? There's so many things that John Green talks about that you're like, holy crap, things are different because tuberculosis existed and still exists. And it's an amazing book. And once you have that in the back of your brain, you're going to be walking around and you're going to be like, wow, that's tuberculosis. That's affected by tuberculosis. This has implications in that realm as well. So that's the tip.
I want you to know that I did not know this was a John Green book when you told me the tip. But when you told me the tip for the first time, I almost said out loud, that sounds like some John Green-ass book title because of Turtles All the Way Down. Like, that's what my brain did.
He has like a way of
There's
writing.
a vibe there.
It's conventions,
Turtles All the Way Down. Everything is tuberculosis. By the way, I really dig John Green. This was not a dig on John Green.
No, not at all. No. Anyway, read the book, then let's talk about it. Tippendales.
And listen to the Anthropocene Reviewed, John
Yes.
Green's old podcast.
I
It's
loved
done
that
now,
show.
but it was my favorite podcast for
It was
a long
amazing.
time.
I even bought a mug from it.
Yeah. Go listen to the Anthropocene Reviewed. Tell John Green we said what up. We're going to try and make him a guest tipper in the future.
Happy weekend.